Today we're playing Mad Dog McCree on the Wii. Rhymes, I'm a poet and I hadn't realised. Released in 1990 in arcades, Mad Dog McCree combines the Laserdisc arcade game style of something like Dragon's Lair with the light gun action of a traditional shooting gallery. The game received widespread praise for its presentation of a well-produced western, and it was successful enough to receive 2 sequel games, both also live-action westerns. Also, there was a space version, which looks pretty good, but I can't find a copy of these days, so if anyone knows where you can find that would be great. For my part, I first encountered Mad Dog McCree at a seaside fun fair in either 1990 or 1991. I was blown away by this amazing new machine. I'd never seen anything quite like it before. My dad and I both tried the game out, and we were very pleased with what we saw. He liked it because he's a big Western fan, and it replicated the Western feel rather nicely, while I liked the fact that it felt like I was playing a film. Naturally, the game received a number of ports to various systems over the years, such as the Mega CD and the CDI. I don't have either of those systems, although the Sega fan in me always wanted a Mega CD as a kid. I'm still not convinced that I could have manufactured a cable to connect the Mega CD to my Mega PC, however, so it's probably for the best that I never actually went out and bought one as a kid. The original hardware for the Mad Dog McCree arcade game was based on a combination of a Laserdisc player and an Amiga 500, which quite frankly amazes me. If Commodore hadn't rested on their laurels during the Amiga 500's dominance, you really have to wonder, would our current PC-dominated landscape instead all be made of Amigas? It's something to think about. Anyway, since I don't have one of the arcades to hand, and the Internet Archive's arcade section doesn't have the game available, we'll have to forego actually showing the arcade game today, save for this clip of the game being played on an early episode of Channel 4's Games Master. So instead, let's come more up to date with a look at the home port of this game for the Wii. The Nintendo Wii is possibly the best home console for playing light gun games like Mad Dog McCree. The Wiimote is perfect for aim and shoot games, which is why my Wiis are mostly used these days for playing House of the Dead and Ghost Squad, and yes, both of those will eventually get full reviews as well. Mad Dog McCree has gained quite a reputation on the Wii for being an unforgiving game to the point where it's ranked as one of the worst light gun games for the system. When I first discovered this, I had to wonder why. I recalled the arcade version with a lot of fondness. So I made it my mission to track down Mad Dog McCree Gunslinger Pack on the Wii, which covers the original game plus its 2 sequels on one disc. I had to play this game for myself to decide whether the hate it gets is justified or not. For the most part, it's not. This is a very faithful rendition of the game, and it plays in excellent video quality as you would expect for something that's taken off a Laserdisc and ported onto a DVD. The aiming works flawlessly, which is to be expected from a Wii game using the Wiimote as a gun interface. As I said earlier, this is the kind of game that the Wii excels at. The interface is lag-free. Movement is a one-to-one replication on screen of what you do with the remote, and the game runs smoothly. It's as close to playing the original arcade as you are going to get on a home console. So why all the hate?
You just jumped from the frying pan into the fire.
Because the game is damn hard, that's why. Most light gun games give you a fraction of a second to adjust to the changes on the screen. When an enemy pops up in Ghost Squad or House of the Dead, there's a small amount of wait time programmed into the game to allow the player to react to the fact that there's something new on screen. It's usually imperceptible, because you want the player to get the feeling that they have lightning reflexes and are actually really good at the game. We play these things for escapism and enjoyment after all. Mad Dog McCree doesn't have any of that. Mad Dog McCree is a replication of Western sharp shooters and old-style shooting galleries from the early days of the light gun arcade game. The rules that we now expect in a light gun game weren't solidified at the time that Mad Dog was first released, so the game is incredibly unforgiving when compared to what came after it. The Wii version replicates all of that faithfully. Some of the enemies on screen are small and very hard to see. There's an enemy in the corral section that I still to this day have not actually seen. I just know he's there because someone kept shooting at me, and the only place that he could be lurking was in some shadows, so I shot at the shadow and hoped for the best. Inside the corral, there's a guy hiding behind some hay bales that is absolutely tiny on most screens, but you've got to see him and shoot him in a fraction of a second, otherwise you're dead. The game is unforgiving, and arcade levels of hard. That's why it's rated so poorly on the Wii. It's not like other light gun games. It doesn't give you a second to catch your breath, and some of the enemies are positioned in a way that's kinda a little bit cheap. Is all of this a bad thing? Well, yes and no. I would like some more flexibility, I have to admit that. I'd like to not have to replay the same sections over and over again in order to have a chance at beating the odds so that I can progress through the game. But the fact is, that's how the original arcade game played, and I can't fault the developers for replicating all of that faithfully. I really can't. So, yeah.
This good old boy seen his last gunfight.
You have to be split-second reactive on this. At the end of the day, it's a damn hard arcade game, and it always was. The Wii version is faithful to the original, presenting it with all of its flaws as well as all of its good points. The video sequences are excellent, with good acting that's actually better than a lot of full-motion video games from the era, and excellent sets that look really good, and they still look good today. The game is lag-free, and it plays well for the most part anyway, and overall, I do enjoy playing this from time to time. For most people, it's going to be too hard, I'll admit that it is, because of the unforgiving reaction times, but if you're willing to stick with it and look past that, there is a fun game here. It's not going to be one that you sink hours of your life into in a single session, but then again, it's not supposed to be. This is an arcade game at heart, and you're meant to enjoy it for a few tries at a time and then move on. And when it's seen in that light, this is a fun novelty that presents itself rather well. So there you have it, Mad Dog McCree. It's alright. I don't think it deserves quite the level of ire that it tends to get. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say. It's a faithful replication of a very difficult arcade game. It's just how it is. It doesn't compare well with more modern light gun shooters, I'll give you that, because it doesn't follow the more modern light gun shooter rules, but for what it is, as a replication of a 90s, very early 90s arcade game, I can't fault it. It's not for everyone, but for those of you who enjoy a bit more challenging light gun game, I think you might find something here. At least it's worth having a look at anyway. But that's all we've got time for today, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you did like this, and if you did, remember to click that like button, share it with your friends so that they'll know a good game, or in this case, a game, when they see it. And do subscribe for future videos because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching GameHammer Daily. Tune in tomorrow for something a bit different, and I'll see you later. If you liked today's video, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you.